I grew up in the town of Wolfville. My father had a barber shop in there, so I was a bit of a town kid, but my heart was out here in the country with my grandmother. Years ago, this was an apple farm. My parents didn't farm it much for apples, my grandparents did. It went through different periods of time where it was very profitable, and then it was not profitable at all. They turned to making apple cider. And this was a lot of times how the farm helped sustain itself. The other unfortunate way that they would sustain themselves is selling building lots or selling land off. When I came here and took my grandmother's farm over, I was 19 years old. And I grew up at the dinner table having my grandmother lament having to sell some of her land to sustain the home farm. I never met my grandfather. My grandfather died about a month before I was born. I remember pulling into the graveyard where he's buried. I remember saying, I'm going to finish what you started. I'm going to get it all back. I'm going to fix this problem. I worked off the farm doing various different jobs to sustain myself while also trying to run and build up the family's farm.
My dad's a pretty incredible guy. His strength of character is incredible. I just feel like very lucky to have been raised by someone who has instilled the values in us, in particular about legacy and the importance of the farm and keeping it, alive.
In the beginning, I didn't know how I felt about it. I certainly wanted a family member to succeed me. They always seemed to be opposed to it early on. When Rachel started and made the decision to join us, it was a game changer. Through the course of hard work and sacrifice, me with a young family, we slowly built it up. I grew up as a constant reminder to never sell land, to always buy land, to always diversify, and always protect the nucleus of the farm in some way that would ensure the succession of the farm. We've got 80 acres back on our home farm and 300 acres in total, just in one generation. We sat on the land from the 90s not knowing what we were going to do with it, just knowing that we had to have it back at all costs.
About 10 years ago, we decided to diversify the poultry farm. We had lots of land and we had great interest for wine and drinking it ourselves. I ended up taking a sommelier program after my travel and tourism background, and then it kind of spun into growing it. So we first planted in 2009. At that time that we were really just expanding in the farm and starting in a new industry here in Nova Scotia to be grape growers, to sell our fruit.
This particular field that we fought so hard to get back into our family's control, it's really easy to plow over a hayfield for houses with a beautiful view. It's a lot harder to do that with grapevines that are supporting a winery. It's so much more intrinsic and so much more permanent, if you will, or necessary. And I feel a lot better in my life knowing that it'll be a lot less likely that this land could ever be utilized for anything other than agriculture. That's the key for me, is to keep it in agriculture and to keep it within our family. Winemaking and grapevines have that great ability to be able to succeed. The vintages last for so long and everything is just so generational rather than immediate.
I'm incredibly proud to be part of that and to be able to be here and to be working with my family on a legacy project. That means a lot. It's very rewarding.
In all kinds of reasons, we felt very proud as a family to be here, to be on this particular piece of land. It's definitely part of our family, like this is our namesake and this is our legacy.